Hello everybody, my name is NCX, and today I'm going to be giving you guys part 2 of my new series, Role Guides on World War II. We are still in the objective player section, and we are now on Gibraltar. If you want to know what the series is more, with a more in-depth, like, answering, or more in-depth, like, description, go to the first video, St. Marie, for objective players, and I'll explain like more what the series is and like more of like an objective player and stuff like that. But let's get right into like the whole video. So first hill is circle. Now if we're spawning on this side, the first thing I think you should do as an OBJ is go 2 routes. Either go the normal way out the turret and dive in the hill, except this is a pretty dangerous way, but you get there the quickest. So it's one of those things where you have to be on point with your movement and how you dive in the hill. I'd say diving like this is probably more safer than diving like that. This is way more safer. If you come around the corner like this and then tuck your head down, then dive, that is way more safer. The next like area I would rush the hill at first is I'd go top white. See, now you have to watch out for someone to go in Godheady because most likely they have an assault rifle. But watch out if anybody goes Godheady. Pre and cap real quick. You don't have to rush into this hill. This hill is a very contest heavy hill. I would dive across here and then get in the hill like this with the same dive because by this time it'll take a little bit longer, but hopefully by this time your teammates may get a pick. I mean, it's not that much of a difference, but they won't be so focused on you coming from turret, and you can try and get in, because it's a little awkward getting in like this. So maybe just not even diving in, maybe just running in, like jumping or something like that. I would recommend, now, if you're in hill, doesn't matter how, I'd say initially, the first like team fight, the first 4, like the first 4 kills, let's say you wipe the team, right? Oh no. You wipe the team, right? You should be in this position the whole time. Not trying to peek out, just watching, watching a rush, maybe peeking up top bricks, see if anybody's there, but don't go for any kills. Next team fight, I would say, while they're respawning, rush up to the red box up here and get in this little corner. It's insanely hard to see someone from up here. I don't even think you can. You can kinda, but for initially, for this first hill, if you are here after being in this circle, most people aren't even going to think about you being here. They'll run down bricks, you'll get an easy kill. Even if you just like look top bricks, that could be an easy kill. Try and get on top of red, see Godheady, and then you can even see the bricks push and seeing them try and rotate and get spawns. Now, if you're coming from this side of hill as an OBJ, I think the best like way to get here is either jumping down from here. Don't jump onto red. Jump behind the red box. Jump behind the red box, get cover, challenge this head glitch, and just try and push in the hill. Or very slowly work your way from brick stairs, try and win some gunfights here. They would be kind of hard. And then once you realize you have an opportunity, no one's on that heady, just dive in the hill like this. It has like a little dip, so that way your character slides down. See, it's like an instant slide down, unless like this, you have some hang time. But in this, it's like, you're praying, fall. It's pretty fast. Great way to get down the hill. Moving on to the second hill. Now, if you're rushing hill, oh, sorry, I forgot for positioning. For positioning, if you're running from bricks, you're going to want to obviously push out these spawns, so then just swap places with the other team and essentially do this. So, moving on to the second hill. This hill is very bait heavy. As an OBJ player, you're going to want to bait with your submachine gun player a lot on this hill. The best places I think the OBJ should rush is here, and you get a teammate, whether it be a support or SMG slayer. Peek the heady, see if anybody's there, call to your teammate, bait up your teammate either jumping far left. The guy in top blue would have a little bit of an angle on you, and the guy rock would probably be able to trade you, or not trade you, but kill you really easily. Or you can, peek rock simultaneously, make that guy back off of a nade, and then challenge the guy rock with your SMG slayer. So let me explain this a little bit slower. So, like, what I'm saying is, if you're rushing this as an OBJ player with your teammate, and you see it on the heady, throw a nade near the heady so he can't peek it, because obviously he'll get damaged or he maybe die. As you do this, call out with your teammate, okay, I'm baiting rock, and jump out to rock. Now, obviously, if you jump straight towards the rock, like this, it's a bad gunfight. But if you jump like this, you can get some cover and also get some shots in, while your teammate peeks as you're challenging, trying to get the trade or just help you kill him. Now, sure, the other person could just withstand the nade because they know they have armored, but at the same time, it's a risky maneuver because even, like, you can still, like, if I throw a nade, sometimes I do keep pre-aiming it, even if I would imagine they'd back up, because you never know if they're going to re-challenge, but you got to do this quick. Throw nade, jump, and the teammate jumps, and then maybe just dive down to here. There's one way an objective player should go about attacking this hill, and another way is, I would recommend coming up from ladder. I'd say you should leave this area to your SMG slayers and your support players. Don't, like, you can bait the rock, like, with your teammate. Like, obviously, you know, put some pot shots in a challenge. But as soon as you get him dead, I would say try and push up ladder. Get that close range engagement. Like I said in the last video, OBJ players are usually your close range specialists, and the players that are going to have the best close range engagements and have the best gun skill for that specific, you know, area. Now, when controlling the hill, I would recommend an OBJ player that if they're spawning coming from, like, they're coming from 2 rails, I think the best spot is just right here. You know, you can see ladder, you can have someone on rock watching your rails, and then someone can watch your back. There is no way you should really die if you have a good setup here, and it's just this is one of the safest areas for an OBJ. Now, if they're coming from behind you, like they pushed out spawns, I would sit here. A lot of people would picture you to stay, like, be right here. But, like, obviously you can get a lot of kills from this area, but you can also surprise people. Because if people don't think you're on this heady, they think you're laying down pro. So if you go right here, and then you see, like, a red blips on the map, kill one, and then maybe jump to the heady. So, like, picture, like, someone pushes up, boom, kill them, and then quick jump to the heady, and then they're confused because they don't know where you went. So, moving on to the third objective hill. Now, this hill is pretty hard for objective players. The last 2 are pretty hard for objective players just because of, like, the setting of the hard point and just where they can get shot from. Now, this hard point is great for SMG slayers, but not for OBJs, considering they have to be in hill. Now, in this hill, if you're challenging it from bridge, I think the best way to get at it is either you go top cat with your SMG slayer, or again, like, your supportive player, and try and push out bricks as a team. Or, I see my OBJ player does this a lot, which I think is better for, like, certain OBJs, is you try and not push directly on the bridge, obviously. Get around, get a little bit closer here and there, and, you know, just obviously challenge the heady and everything, and then push into small, while other people, like the SMG Slayer and the support, could be challenging from bricks and you pinch in. I would recommend as an OBJ player, you challenge from bridge, because it gives you that small area of, like, gunfights. Like, obviously you have small, and then you have these, like, tight little corners inside of the hill. Great gunfights for OBJ players. Now, if you flip spawns and you're spawning from here, I would recommend either challenging this gunfight, which is probably one of the hardest gunfights to lose, like, if you're on it, or try and just get over here, because some people like to hide in here when, like, they know that their spawn's flipped just to stay alive. And you can even get, like, close range gunfights right here, get nice little angles. It's just a great way to push in. Now, when you have control of the hill, I would say, like, sitting right here, getting an angle of when they're pushing in, like, you have a lot of sight right there, and a lot of things you're looking at. And it's hard to, like, if you're rushing up, it's hard to see that person there. Like, obviously you could if they've killed you before, but it's a hard gunfight to lose here. Like, you could just even peek out, you know, take some pot shots in, lay prone, and just call out when they're pushing in. The only thing you have to worry about is you can't see them rushing from bridge into small. But that's why you have your SMG Slayer or someone else right here pre-aiming the small door. I see a lot of OBJ players sit in this corner, and I just don't get it. I just don't get it, because then you have your other teammate who's sitting up here having to challenge the green, but they can just hop behind cover. This corner is also good, except it's just like, I don't know, I tend to win a lot of gunfights here, because as soon as I get behind green, I usually, when I challenge hill from right here, I could get behind green trucks, and I get shot from there. And then I always check this corner, always. It's just natural to me. And I've always caught so many people, most likely the OBJ player, is standing there. So if you're an OBJ player, I would recommend playing behind this green truck with this off angle. And just, going behind the green truck, peeking out, whatever, doing stuff like that. Instead of just playing in a corner. This hill you could really... It's hard, because there's not that much cover, and there's a long-range engagement, and obviously your back is completely exposed, but that's up to your teammates to protect you, obviously. Moving on to the fourth hill, the cliff hill. This hill is devastating for OBJ players. Now, if you're coming from cave, I think your best bet is to sit right here for a second, let some gunfights go down, let your AR player, who is most likely top cave, call out if anybody's pushing hill, look them in stairs, just trying to help out your team and everything, and just wait for some information, preem right here, see if anybody's gonna peek, and then once you get an opportunity, like let's say you get a kill right here, boom, then you hop in hill. Don't hop in hill first, unless you have complete control of this hill. This is only if you are both pushing at the same time, and you don't know who's going to get in first, and you can get in one of those good engagements where it's like, well, we both sprint into each other, and it's like, oh, what's going on? So I would just wait, try and let picks come out from your team, and get some information, and then push in, and then obviously take control of hill, and I think it's self-explanatory where you position yourself on this hill. It's always just behind the gun, whatever side you're facing. So for this side, it'd be the same. Now, this is more of... The OBJ has not a lot of control when pushing the hill. It honestly comes down to your AR players, or player. If he can win that gunfight top... If he can win that gunfight top cave. If he can win that gunfight top cave, you are set. Because that is their only line of defense, unless they send someone in the middle. But I'd imagine as a play, you've gone over, if we're coming from green, you send someone mid-stairs to leave, that option over. So let's just say, your AR player kills a guy top cave. This is how you should push in. Obviously, push in from the left, because if you push in from the right, it gives more angles for them to see you, and a lot of times people stay on this corner right here, or not corner, but back side of the gun to try and get an angle when people are rushing to the right, and a lot of times people are behind that box. But what I like to do is this throws a lot of people off. If you go on the lip of this right here, the edge of the cliff, it doesn't have you in the hill. You have to be on the very edge. Now I've gotten pretty good at it where I can run in on the edge and not take my... I go pretty fast, and I'm not in the hill. So when you challenge that, and he's going to be behind the gun. He's going to be behind the gun on their side. So look at it like this. When you're challenging in, go fast, and you're going to catch them off guard. It's going to be like, well, it didn't give me a notification, or not a notification, but indication that someone's in the hill. A lot of people, know this, and they do it, but they don't expect it. There's so many times where I'm laying down in the hill, and I get killed from behind. I'm like, how? And it's obvious that he just went around the little lip here. So this is a really, interesting spot as an OBJ player that you can use to your advantage. Because there's if you really think on most hills, it's more or less OBJ players having, their team protect them in certain ways, or most ways, etc., etc. I mean, in this, you can really make an impact with this type of play by throwing someone off. Imagine if it's 249 or 245... 230, you're down 15 points, and, you need to make a clutch play, right? And you come on the outside, you find 3 enemies, boom, 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 you get a 3-piece. It's something that an OBJ player can do really well, an SMG player could do it too, obviously, but as an OBJ, or as a player that used to be OBJ a lot, I use this so much for this hill, because this hill is such a hard way, it's so hard for objective players, because it's so, I'm sorry, I choked on my own words there. It's so AR and, flank dominant and positioning that objective players will have a hard time getting to this hill, just in general. So using any little bit of strategy that they can will help them tremendously. Besides down this hill, it's really just comes down to your other teammates. Mostly the ones with ARs. Obviously, you know, putting pot shots in, weakening them, making them back up, you can do. But it's not, like, you're not going to beat, in hindsight, you should not beat an assault rifle player at long range with a submachine gun. And obviously, you can go with an old school meta that used to be used in BO2 sometimes, where you put your OBJ with an assault rifle for some hills. But then once you get in here, you know, having a bar or an STG, maybe not an STG, nah. This is really close range. Like, this gunfight right here, obviously, if you're a more skilled player, you're going to win it with any gun. But, like, if you're going at, like, players that are equally leveled, a submachine gun player is going to gun an assault rifle player. Like, that's just how it is. So, it just comes down to if your assault rifle players can take out the guy top key, and if you can push in. And you don't have to challenge this way, because imagine if you do it, like, 3 times, you're going to predict it. So, you know, maybe, like, don't challenge from there, just peek in, you know, go like this or something like that, maybe challenge from the right, except you have top key looking at you. So I'd recommend just running the hill normally, and then hopefully they won't expect it. So that concludes the Gibraltar Hardpoint guide for objective players. Next map I'm going to do, is going to be London Docks for objective players. And then one more map for objective players, and then we're on to most likely anchoring, and then so on and so forth. So that'll be the end of the video, guys. If you guys did enjoy the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next chapter.